welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We are back to playing Alien tonight. We're continuing our Cinders of Heaven campaign. It's April Fool's, and I don't have an April Fool's Day joke. So we're just going to play. That's it. That's the joke. We're just going to play. That's how it's going to work. So, Long, if you're out there, if you're watching this, right here, man. You know, he's totally...
You know what you did.
I've been bitching about it for a while now. So, but yeah, he knows. He knows what he did. Anyhow, but yeah, our colony game / amateur investigation hour continues tonight. We'll see how it goes. And why don't we just dive right in? Why don't we go ahead and do some intros and we'll get started. So Chuck,
that's me.
Tell us the deepest, most intimate thoughts of Scooter Carter.
I don't know what the statute of limitations is out here on the frontier, so I will decline.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you made it out here, so you're probably okay.
Yeah. I mean there's state law and federal law, which is like a little law living in a big law, and then there's got to be expansions from that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to write that down with a question.
Then there's whale law.
Whale law.
Yeah.
You know what I know about state law?
What's that?
You stop while loading and unloading. While the bus is loading and unloading. I've seen that a lot.
What?
Adam.
It says it right on the bus. It says it right on the bus. State law stop while bus is unloading and loading.
Oh, a school bus.
Yeah.
On board.
Okay.
Melissa, tell us about Michelle.
Michelle is our, what is she? She's a medic. She practices generally a bit more preventative medicine, fitness, exercise, all of those kinds of things. So she's always got some like really bad 80s like workout like song in her head as she's always like walking around and like, you know, kind of 80s speed walker kind of approach to like moving around a bit. And she doesn't do well with dead bodies. Everyone learned her secret.
It was really bad. Holy crap. If you listen back, it was really bad. Jeremy, I hesitate to ask you this, but what is the crime that Scooter wants to know the statute of limitations on?
All right, man, you didn't hear it from me, okay? There was some genetically engineered livestock that he allegedly took out for a joyride. He wanted to ride a space cow because he's stupid.
Okay.
The damn thing couldn't even fly. It wasn't any good.
Well, the thing was, of course, he had to steal the most expensive one, the one that was meant to breed, right? And that one was worth all the money.
Scooter expected a genetically engineered space cow to fly?
No, he just wanted to ride it.
It's a space cow that you would expect it to be.
Yeah, well, he wanted to fly it, and you know how that turned out.
Okay.
Like I put on my helmet and everything, had oxygen loaded up.
And now I may have lied to him that outfit would work. I may have spurred him on a little bit, but he made the choice.
It makes sense. I mean, space whales fly, and whales are sea cows, so space cows.
If a space whale is in space, is it actually flying? Or is it like, because whales swim?
It would be swimming. Well, I mean,
I think
flying is just swimming in the air. There's no difference there.
Is there like
there is water in the air? It's not water yet, but there's hydrogen and oxygen. It's there.
It's the same thing. It's just looser water.
Okay.
I am learning so much.
I mean, quote of the day: flying is just swimming in the air.
It is. It's true.
What else do we need? We're going to solve all the mysteries and do all of the things with intelligence like that in our group. How could we go wrong?
So
that's science, man.
Investigation.
Swim checks. Yeah, that's right. Swim checks don't go well in this channel. Oh, goodness.
No.
They don't go well at all. They never do. All right. Next up, my turn. Tell us about Krish.
The most important thing about Krish is that she has no business having this job of being a marshal. Like, she is like every boss that you just hate so much because they failed upwards. That's Krish. She is the worst, and I love her.
Okay. Right on. You fail upwards. Okay. Fail upwards. Write that down. I know people like that. All right. And then finally, Adam, please tell us about Mr. Jack Gert.
Yes, Gert. Just like you pronounce girl, but with a T added on to the end of it.
Yep.
Hello, I'm Mr. Gert, and just your average, everyday company man. Put my time in and have been promoted, worked my way up through hard work, intuition, stick-to-itiveness, that sort of thing.
Sure. Completely different from how Krish has worked her way up. Right.
Right.
You've succeeded up.
It's actually a very interesting story.
Okay. So last time.
I was hoping.
Perfect.
I was really hoping.
I figured you were setting me up. All right. Last time around, it was day 2 of the colony. We began with Skeeter, the perfect person, finding a dead body in one of the bath facilities. Various jokes ensued. He recruited the help of his brother, Scooter, and various other folks in the crew who took it upon themselves to investigate. Are any of them investigators? One of them is, but they decided to investigate anyway. It was great. The victim was an ICSC botanist named Jonas Sal. He died from a large puncture wound to the chest, but there was no clear weapon in the area. Investigation, as you started to sort of look around a bit, revealed a couple things. There were some busted exterior pipes and a damaged roof. There was an access card to his private quarters. And there was a bunch of weird interference on the various security footage going into and out of that specific bath facility. Geralt and Krish, you discreetly searched Sal's quarters. You found an encrypted data disk with instructions for how to backdoor the Apollo mainframe and some various compromising information on a few Seegson employees. And then when Sal's team members knocked on his door, Krish sent them away, intimating that she and Sal were in a romantic relationship of some kind. Mitra yelled at me for using non-romantic language in our text summary. So elsewhere, after Michelle and
the only bars that they have a pulse, and that bar was
the thing is, though, he didn't have a pulse.
That's what I mean.
All right. Elsewhere, after Michelle and Scooter accidentally collapsed the roof of the bath facility where this killing happened, Scooter decided to torch the site. And then the two of them and Skeeter went and investigated the hydroponics and food production labs where Sal was assigned to work. There were a bunch of different experiments on some native moss or lichen. There was a pair of working Joe androids that were manipulating the overhead shutters so they could look up at the sky. And then Scooter found this hollow section of earth beneath the floor and crawled through a bunch of these little tight caves and eventually found an alcove that opened onto an underground river. And there, sitting at the edge of the river, was a frozen woman. So, yeah, we're going to start right there. So I need, first of all, go ahead and take a point of stress. As when we last left Scooter, you had sat down next to her. And you had felt emanating from her an immense amount of cold. And so go ahead and take a point amount of stress. You don't have to panic, but you point of stress as there's now a dead, frozen body right next to you. In front of you, remember, she was just essentially just casually sitting. Like almost like you're sitting at the, at the end of a bay, a dock of a bay or something like that. Like she was just casually sitting on this ledge looking out at this river where these big chunks of ice kind of flow by, etc. But you're very certain she's dead and frozen through.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Well, shit. All right. I'll first look out at whatever she may be looking at in case there's a...
So there's a underground waterway that is maybe 10, 10 to 15 feet across, and it looks relatively deep, and you can see there's chunks of ice. You're pretty sure, you're a smart guy, you're pretty sure it connects to the main river that the colony has been built next to, and that feeds into its water processing facilities.
Okay, so this is artificial to feed the water stuff.
No,
is that what I picked up?
You think this is probably a natural underground? Yeah,
underground river. All right. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna check her out. And is she? What is she wearing?
Okay, so she has a Seegson uniform, coverall. It is a little grimy, but seems to be in decent condition. Do you want to like go through her things, or are you just kind of looking for now?
No, I'm gonna observe first, and then I'm definitely digging through the pockets and looking for ID, unaccounted cash, any just useful things.
Okay. No roll if you're just digging through pockets. You do in fact find a Seegson ID. You see the name. You see a little photo image. Photo image matches her face, probably in her 40s, brunette. And you see the name Farah Novik. And then and it seems like she's some kind of like specifically like the subset underneath. She's like an android engineer. So she's a synthetic. She works with synthetics. She works with working Joes.
Well, I mean, okay, well, I should have known the answer already because we've only been here for a day. I kind of poke her on like the cheek or maybe like the arm, how frozen solid, like ice cube, like
when you kind of press it, like there's a bit of a cushion to like her skin, but if you keep going with it, eventually it becomes quite hardened. So like there's a little bit of give and then it's hard. It's not like immediately like hard.
But okay, so she was one of the engineers that came down to oversee the Joes. She decided to have a sit. Froze to death.
Yeah.
Froze to death. Okay. Well, shit. Do I see any other ways in or out? Or just the tunnel I came in through?
Only if someone were to swim through the freezing water, but that's you're gonna give yourself something terrible if you do that.
Her hair look like it was wet?
No, it doesn't look like like frozen over anything like that. There's no icicles or anything dripping from her anywhere.
Wait, I was trying to sort out if it looked like she had swam through the water and sat here and then died.
Yeah.
That's not really.
I would say you probably don't get that vibe. Yeah. You probably don't get that vibe. Yeah.
All right. Well, when in doubt, let's drag her back to the. No. Because Michelle will be like, why didn't you bring her back? And Krish will be like, why the hell did you violate the crime scene? Which.
No, she'll be like, why did you bring her back?
Yeah, I'm going to drag her back because this place is creepy and I don't want to come back if I don't have to.
All right, no worries. You can start dragging her back. That shouldn't be too much trouble. Let's cut, as you do that, to Krish and Geralt, who last we saw had left the small little modular living facility where Joe Zhao's apartment was. You ran into a working Joe, like right there in the middle, and then walked around you. As the two of you are walking out, and you're crossing the actual colony itself, you see that there is quite a situation that seems to be unfolding, as there are several crews of people trying to put out a fire. As you approach, you notice that there are about a dozen people, workers and things, who are struggling to put out a fire. It looks like the entire bath facilities where you had discovered the body of Jonestown are now ablaze. It doesn't look like they're losing control of it, but it does look like they have been struggling. What do you two want to do?
I'm going to go over there and start like talking to people as if this is like something I just now woke up to, because it's still the like middle of the night, right?
Yeah, it's like early morning hours. It's like AM hours, before like, what we would consider dawn. But since there's like a 2-week cycle of light, it's still very bright out.
Right. So
okay.
The first person I see that, isn't frantically running around, I'm going to walk up to them and say, besides the obvious, can someone tell me what's going on?
Okay. Yeah, you get sort of a big, muscular looking guy who's like, oh, yeah, it's damnedest thing. Something happened. There's the fire is damn pot facility's caught on fire. Someone said something. They could have sworn they saw someone out here setting it ablaze, but ain't here now. I don't know how it got started. I don't know why. They don't pay me to investigate why it got started. I'm just putting the thing out.
Oh, yes. Don't I know they don't pay you? So the it is under control, though. It won't spread.
Yeah. I think we got it under control. No one's gonna be using the bathroom for a while over here. We're gonna have to all hunker down at the bath facility B over there and bath facility C. So it's gonna be unpleasant until we get these up and running again. But yeah.
We'll have to learn how to share. But you did say something about seeing someone, or that someone had seen someone.
Well, that's the rumor. That's the scuttlebutt going on right now.
Do you recall who told you that?
Well, there's Larry, there's Daryl, Janet right over there. They were talking about it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you filling me in on everything.
Yeah. Me? I too am Daryl.
Right. Yes. And is Daryl over there your brother?
Oh no, we're not related.
Fascinating. Well, I'll remember that. Put in a good word for you. And I'll start asking around to see if I can find out if they really know what happened or how much of it is just rumors.
Sure. You can give me either like a manipulation or a command, I would say. Like if you're trying to pull rank, go command. Because you do have, you are decently high ranked, especially on the Seekson side of things. So you could do command, or you could just do manipulation if you're just trying to like weasel your way in.
It's the Jeremy effect. I could have all the dice in the world.
It's a fail. In some stress. So yes. You drop an item. So what does it look like as you go up to Daryl and Larry and Janet?
Look at my inventory.
Yeah. What do you think happens as you what? Maybe as you walk up, someone's like, "Hey, yeah, we saw that guy was walking around with the other guy who set the thing on fire. Yeah, right here, this guy right here." And they start pointing at you, Jack. Like, you know who did this. There's a guy who set this on fire. I bet you. Hey, that's the guy who he works over in Seekson there. They probably did this on purpose. That's what they probably did this with. You probably still told him to set this on fire on purpose, right? He just he just came out here in a little golf cart and he just set the damn thing on fire.
What you say is very fascinating.
It's fascinating, all right. You know what? I'm liable to do a little citizen's arrest right here. That's what I'm liable to do. Citizen's arrest here.
And what was your name? As I go for my briefcase to start writing something down, and
me?
I don't know where it's.
Why do you want to know my name?
I don't know where it is.
I want to know your name. What's your name?
My name is Mr. Geralt. Thank you very much.
Geralt.
Yes.
It's difficult to say.
Geralt.
Sounds made up. Sounds like it's maybe the type of thing that someone makes up when they're not really sure what their real name is. That's what it sounds like to me. What do you think, Janet?
Yeah, I think that too.
My family hails from Prussian stock.
Hails?
Yes.
Who the hell talks like that? This guy's
someone with an education.
Oh, you're trying to say I'm not educated. Did you hear what he said, Daryl? Nope. Okay, never mind. Go back to work.
Grave while you're at it.
Oh, big tough guy over here. Hey,
No,
hey, Miss Kimura! Miss Kimura! And he's like waving down. And you see there is a woman walking down the street who is dressed in the finest and most put together uniform. Chris, you immediately recognize her. Jack, you might also recognize her as well. As Yuna Kimura, she is the civil marshal. She is literally the law in charge of this. As she comes up, Miss Kimura, this fella right here, he's causing problems. I'm pretty sure he was involved in setting this thing ablaze. He knows something, and now he's coming around here. He's coming back to the scene of the crime. Isn't that how it works, Miss Kimura? The criminal, they come back to the scene of... that's great, Larry. Go wash your face. You look like you have a lot of shit on it. And
Larry, do you have a surname?
Do I have a surname? Why do you want to know my surname?
Because I find it fascinating.
Well, as luck would have it, it's Boyd. Larry Boyd.
Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate you telling me.
Well, I appreciate you asking. I know I am young. Very tired. Okay, you can go. You can run along now. And then you see, like, yes, Miss Kimura. And then she wails around. Krish, can I speak with you for a moment, please?
Sure.
Do you remember when I said, keep it contained? You remember that?
Yeah. It's not here.
Do you...
It is contained. It's contained elsewhere.
Do you really think that keeping it contained involves setting the crime scene ablaze before we can do a proper forensic analysis of the crime scene?
I didn't do this.
Oh, I'm quite certain it wasn't you. It was your friend. He is on several cameras, in fact, just setting it purely ablaze, which makes me think he was doing it under orders, either yours or your friend Mr. Girls over here. Now,
Krish actually face palms.
now, I appreciate your desire to keep things quiet. But this is not quiet, and nor have we actually been able to send in any of our forensic examiner. We haven't dusted for fingerprints. We haven't checked for DNA. We haven't done any of these things. And we can't now because the toilets are on fire.
Look, you don't have to do any of those things because the toilets are on fire.
Yes.
You're looking at this all wrong, Miss.
Oh. Please, enlighten me.
This is objectively a good thing because this is now not going to be someplace that anyone else dies because nobody is going to come here.
Well, that is very interesting reasoning, Ms. Khan. I appreciate your non-linear thinking. However, get a bucket and help put the fire out. Maybe you can be useful in that way.
I definitely will. But why don't you and I have breakfast first before I do that?
No. No. I think we might want to put this fire out first.
Can Jackie Boy help at least?
Mr. Garrett?
Geralt.
No, he goes by Jackie
aware of your
Boy.
name. Jackie Boy. Yes, that is not the official terminology that Mr. York gave me about his
Artie.
his personnel.
No, Artie's wrong. It's Jackie Boy.
Yes. Well,
only Krishna is allowed to call me Jackie Boy.
I see.
And she snickers.
Well, this has been very enlightening.
Yes, I would be more than happy to help out. Willing to lend a hand.
Excellent. Go help with Daryl. Looks like he's having some trouble.
As long as it's not Larry.
And we cut from there. And we check in with Michelle and Skeeter. At this point, we'll say Scooter has brought the body up. And you hear him kind of tumbling around, and maybe you're there to kind of take the body from him. And so the three of you are there feeding this frozen body up from below.
Oh, well, this is, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is this a talent of yours that you enter a space and locate the dead?
It's an old family gift.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a buy one get one sort of deal.
Oh, so maybe we're done for tonight. We bought
I
one.
hope so.
Bought one. Great. That would be great. That would be just okay. And so she like takes a really deep breath because this went so horribly before, and she's gonna try to do a check and see what happened to this dead body besides the obvious freezing.
Okay. I mean, there's probably a limited amount of information you can get just by looking at it here. But yeah, if you want to do like a quick assessment, you can go ahead and do that.
Okay. Medical aid.
Like a full-on like forensic examination. You have to go to the lab. Take a couple hours.
Hey, 2 successes. So I'm looking for obvious, holes.
Yeah.
Chunks missing, whatnot.
So you notice no signs of any kind of trauma consistent with like assault. So there's like no stab wounds, gunshot wounds, anything like that. There is definitely signs of frostbite, but nothing suggesting altercation. And I'll say, since you got 2 successes, the extra bit of information, you would probably guess that she's been dead for several weeks, perhaps even months.
Well, it would definitely be a good question for Mr. Geralt and some of the Seekson folks about how it was that this individual seemed to have been missing for quite some time. And I don't recall receiving any information about missing staff here. Might be something we might want to look into. Can you help me? Should we leave this here? We've already got one body. What do we want to do with this body?
I don't know, man. Them toasters are looking funny. They might try and prop her up and make her look out the window, too.
Could be.
Oh.
I mean, she was just sitting down there on the ledge, just sitting right next to the water.
At some point, we probably want to look at that water, right?
I guess. I mean, it was cold and wet. I don't know what else you're going to get from it.
Did it seem to be an area that had been scouted by the advance team? Like, was it set up properly?
Wait, no, it's natural, like a cave, like underwater river.
So maybe she found a place to go do some quiet thinking and just forgot to leave?
Got to live.
Oh, that she did.
I've forgotten some important things. I don't think you typically forget that.
Now, I'm going to guess, if I had to guess a guess, that it would be that them working Joes got real weird. And she said, I'm going to hide under this building.
Mm-hmm.
And she just sat down by the river. And, she go check. They're still up there acting weird. She go sit back down. And eventually, Cole just took her while she was trying to wait them out.
She wanted a nice vista for her final moments.
Yeah, I should have checked the walls and stuff. See if she carved in a message like, don't trust the Joes. They're min-maxers.
We should definitely check that out. Do you have access to another one of those carts that we could try to move the body? Because the way you brought it to us, I don't want to carry it like that back across in front of the fire.
Good news. I'll go get one of the 4-seaters we got, and she's already frozen in a sitting position. Oh, look, Joe's in the chat. Perfect timing. And we just set her in there. No one will know anything different. Bless you.
Thank you. These all of this moss and everything in here is just a bit much. That would be, and those, they drive quickly. We're just going to make a quick drive over back to the medical area. Okay.
Yeah. I have to get the other one. Yeah.
Scooter, you step outside to go get the cart, right? And you see standing right there is a woman you would know as Yuna Kimura, who is the civil marshal, the law here. Looks like she has a few people with her, including 2 working Joes. And as you open the door and come down the ramp, she's like, "Oh, excellent. We found the arsonist."
Oh, shit. I put my hands in the air and drop down to my knees. Listen, it may look bad, but it's not. And she was dead when we found her.
She?
Oh, you
over
weren't
here.
talking about that.
Over here.
You and Skeeter back there.
It's a buy one, get one.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
BOGO body situation.
Go ahead and just take all of them into custody. Let's just clean this up. Yes. And so you just see the 3 of you can take it into custody. There's a dead body. There's an arsonist. Yeah. What do you do, Skeeter?
Why are we? I mean, she's a doctor. Like, she's professional. And I know he's an asshole. He set shit on fire. But to be fair...
And she'll start rattling off. It appears that time of death of this individual was approximately 3 weeks ago. Preliminary review of the body would appear damage from frostbite.
And we was working with your lady. She said it was objectively a good idea.
Yeah,
so, like, we were just complying with officials.
Fully sanctioned.
My lady.
Ms.
Not
Khan.
the frozen one here. Oh, yes, Ms. Khan. Yes, that makes sense.
Krish said that I have to make sure that no one finds out about anything. And Mr. Geralt, he said extra not find out. Then he gave me the requisition card and told me to go get 5 gallons of diesel.
So what you're
Something
saying
about
is
decreasing panic, I believe, was the aim of those tasks.
He
was
wanted
decreasing
us
panic,
to huff
I
it.
believe.
Yeah, we had no clue about this second body. He just found a hole underground and he went crawling around.
I mean,
yes.
She's just
when you find a hole in the ground, you got to climb in it.
I mean, you can't make this shit up, man.
Yes.
This is Ms. Novik. This is Ms. Novik from the advance team.
How long did you say? How long did you say that she was dead for?
Oh, it would appear multiple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, perhaps. And she'll repeat what you said earlier. Preliminary examination, no trauma, could be frostbite.
Any of the 3 of you, if you would like to roll an observation test, please go ahead. As you see her demeanor, countenance, all that kind of changes to a degree.
That is 5 successes, because I can't examine a dead body, but I can watch a face.
Okay.
I got 4 successes and I got a tremble. Whatever I see's got me shaking in my boots.
Your hands are shaking as they put the gloves around your wrists. Hold still.
Those things are cold. Warm them up first. Put them against your belly for a little bit so they ain't so cold.
One guy's like, fine, all right. Jeez, what are you doing that for? He's an arsonist. Okay.
He likes it hot.
Those of you who are looking at her, you could tell that she is very alarmed and confused about who the identification is, right? As Faranovic, Vance team. Definitely seems like she recognizes the name as you mention it. And then when you mention how long she's been dead for, like there is this sense of sort of disbelief at that, as if something, it's like someone trying to do difficult math. And she looks at you.
I know that face.
You're sure about that estimate? You don't want to make a proper examination?
Well, yes, I would love to make a proper examination. I was hoping to be able to move her and be able to do a proper examination. I just wanted you to have the preliminary facts as they became available.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we were doing. We were going to haul her over to the medical thing.
I see. Okay.
From where I found her. Because I went down there because them bots, they were like staring at the ceiling, singing. Just like that one day when they were looking at a tree.
Yeah. When we went and rescued some folks. They were
when we saw them space turtles.
Okay, gentlemen, that's enough. Enough of this fanciful talk. There's no reason to make such fanciful claims now.
Oh, I get what you're saying, but in these cuffs,
the fact that you continue to talk suggests to me that you
in these cuffs, I just really feel like yelling real loud.
He's handcuffed, so I just put my hand over
how
his
the
mouth.
working Joes are.
Go ahead and roll a manipulation. Take a +1. Take a +1. Working Joe just puts their hand on your head and snaps it.
Oh, no.
And he just Go ahead and roll manipulation.
Oh, that's me. Yeah. And I get a +1.
I'll give you a +1 just because you created a very fun scenario. Oh, goodness.
That's 2 successes.
Yes. Go. This seems to have all been a very terrible misunderstanding. Go ahead and take the cuffs off, young man.
Thank you.
Doctor, as she turns towards Michelle. Dr. O'Gwyn. Yes. Okay. Go ahead and continue with your plan. Take this over to the medical facility, go through a full, proper forensic workup. You can take your orderlies with you.
The fancy boys.
No.
I don't have anything to say about anything. So thank you.
Full of fancy.
They will assist me. Yes. Scooter and Skeeter will assist me. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Right. Off.
Toodaloo.
So you guys go and you take the body over to the medical examination. Eventually, Geralt, you get contacted by Arthur York with a very stern invitation to a meeting with him at the command hub. Krish, you get called to a very stern meeting from your supervisor as well, the same woman I was just talking as you all kind of get pulled away into these different locations as stuff starts to get official. So we're going to pull back a bit and we're going to treat this more like consider this like a shift of time. So there's a handful of things that we're going to have happen. First, Michelle, you're going to spend some time doing a medical examination, you said, so go ahead and give us a medical aid roll for that. Then once Scooter and Skeeter, you help deliver the body, you actually don't get called any particular way. Skeeter, you do know that at some point later today, they're going to start handing out survey assignments. But other than that, you don't get some angry call from a supervisor, unlike other people in the party. So Scooter and Skeeter, you guys are kind of
free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if they're going to be putting out them assignments, I'm going to try and think ahead of any way I could try and nudge myself to the front of the line, so to speak.
Okay.
I got a great idea.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to get to the front of the line, I mean, we just got to go refill my diesel cans.
Is fire the solution to all problems?
I don't hear Skeeter. I don't hear you saying no.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say camp out. I don't know we need the diesel for that. You never know we're going to need to burn something else. Save the diesel for the good fire.
But Michelle has used a little bit of it to help kind of defrost the body. So I would imagine there's a little bit of kind of warming that's happened in the medical area just to kind of defrost the body sufficiently. So
medical facility, but you still use diesel to thaw the body.
Yeah, I got one of them big torches when they have me put fresh paper down on the flat roofs to heat the tar. I'll just loan you that thing. You just put it on the tank, light it up, have that body. I mean, barbecued, fall off the bone, good, and
Okay. I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna get some sleep. I ain't missing.
I'll tell you what.
Your expertise has come into much use.
We'll say Scooter has been assisting Michelle then with this examination, so you can roll an extra die from an assistance from Scooter.
Nice.
Skeeter, you go and get some Z's. Krish, you get pulled into a very stern meeting over with Miss Kimura, and Gert, you have a meeting with Arthur York. Let's start with Krish. So once the fire is actually put out, you do get called over. And you kind of go into your normal place of work, but there is like a second level where her offices are as you kind of go up there, and you still maybe have like the stench of the fire and the smoke on you as you come in, and she's just sitting there looking at you. It's very much like a principal's office kind of moment, and she just has her hands folded on the desk. Please sit down, Miss Khan.
It's sheepishly.
Now, if you could please give me a full debrief as to the events of the past 9 hours.
I called you and I told you the important parts already.
Yes, and I told you to please keep it contained, use people you can trust. And now there is a fire that everyone has seen. There is a second body that we have found beneath the botany labs.
Sorry, second body?
Yes, your very intelligent friends, Scooter and Skeeter, they found a body beneath the botany labs. Dr. Gwyn is currently performing an autopsy as we speak. Now,
good for them.
Excellent. Now, you, if I'm to understand this correctly, found Mr. Well, actually, did you give her the name? The full?
Did. Yeah.
Okay.
Jonas Cell.
Now, since we spoke, can you please give me a full accounting of your whereabouts and activities?
It kind of looks around. It's like, should we really talk about this here?
Oh, it's quite secure.
You sure you wouldn't rather, talk over a drink?
Yes. It's currently 7 a.m. in the morning.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we went to Jonas' room and we found some stuff on a data pad that spoke to some kind of corporate espionage. There were 2 Seegson employees that would probably be involved because they've been involved in corporate espionage and bribery before. So should probably look into that. Pulls out the data pad.
She takes that. Do you give over everything? Like data pad? Okay. Well, this is excellent work, Miss Khan.
Yes, I'm
excellent
very
work.
good at what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I see. And she's just nodding. Excellent work. We're all very proud. Now, you've had a very long night. Why don't you go get some rest? And should something arise that needs your attention, I will be certain to contact you.
Think about breakfast. I wasn't kidding.
Yes.
And she'll get over and leave.
Okay. We'll cut over then to Jack. Jack, you head into a meeting with Arthur York in the command hub. And in a similar state, you go into a very surprisingly spacious office in the second level of the command hub. You can see there's a big old window you can see out over top of the most of the colony. You can even see from here the rubble of where the fire had taken place. Come on in, Jack. Take a seat.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Arthur. Pleasure to meet you.
Mm-hmm. I have gotten a few interesting reports from various individuals that you that you have been involved in an incident here at the colony. Now, it's been brought to my attention that you might have aided and abetted an arsonist. Now, of course, I know that is not true. That is not something that I think you would do. However, it does seem as though you have gotten off on the wrong foot here. Would you agree with that, Jack?
I would definitely agree, and I know what lesson I have to take from this.
That's excellent. What is that lesson?
Well, my initial efforts were to make sure that not very many people found out before the proper authorities learned. That way they could spread the news in the best way possible. So when I said to make sure no one sees this, I wasn't clear enough.
I see. Well,
I should have said make sure no one comes in the building.
Clarity and specificity, yes.
Mm-hmm.
When you rise as high in the organization as I have, and as you, I have no doubt will eventually as well, precisely letting your subordinates know what is expected of them is one of the signs of a good manager. Do you want to be a good manager, Jack?
Of course. It is what I was born to do, I think.
Excellent. I think that we see eye to eye on this, indeed. Now, I also have a complaint from, let me see, a Larry Boyd.
Yes, I was actually going to look into his personnel file.
Oh, well, it's not very impressive. He is on the janitorial staff here, and frankly, with his lack of educational resources, I'm surprised that he's even on this mission. But he is not Seegson, so could we please try not to cause organizational confrontations on day 2?
I see. So which organization is he with?
He is with ICSC.
ICSC.
They have a far lower bar for those that get invited on such missions than we do.
I'm relieved he's not with Seegson. It would make us look incredibly bad.
Yes.
A person of his caliber.
Well, Jack, I'm glad that we've had this conversation. It seems as though you are understanding what you're supposed to accomplish here. I am going to send you on a small operation.
Very well.
Are you ready for that? You ready for some outdoorsmen? Want to explore, Jack? You want to see the grand sights that the moon has to offer?
That's not why I came here, but, it is certainly not something I will shy away from.
And why is it that you came here, Jack?
Cowardice.
Very interesting. Not many cowards on a mission that takes you completely and utterly away from anyone they've ever cared about or loved, and into a entirely intimidating and wild frontier that probably wishes to kill them at every turn. But yet you're here nonetheless.
Yes, I was promoted.
Yes, well, this is less of a promotion, more of an assignment.
Yes, well, the assignment will be delivered upon. That is why I was promoted. No matter what, the assignment must be done.
As you understand, Seegson has interests with this moon. Yes? Interests that go beyond the usual mining rights, resource discovery, surveying, etc. It is your job to prioritize what it is that the organization values here. Mm-hmm. With that in mind, I'm going to be sending you on a survey team. To the west of here, several days, there is an ocean. It is vast, but initial survey teams suggested that the cliffs that overlook that ocean are rich, absolutely and utterly rich, with minerals that would be very useful to us, and no doubt would fetch a good price on the open market. However, there's something else that catches my attention. And he slides over to you a printout of a grainy, drone shot. What is it you see here, Jack? Give me an observation test as you look down at this, Jack.
While I'm looking at it, I'm just going to kind of glance my eyes to the side and side. Just going to see what else is in this office.
Sure.
So observation.
Yeah. Okay. I think it makes sense. So you pass, but you also freeze. So as you're kind of frozen by this sense of fear or stress, as you look down at the drone shot, you realize it is basically a drone shot, again, through fog, of a coastline, very rocky coastline, high cliffs. And you notice that on one section of the cliff, something doesn't look quite right. Instead of like the normal kind of rocky rivulets that you would expect, there is a very, almost like a carving that has got to be maybe 100 feet in diameter or so. And it looks like this smooth, eroded section of the cliff that almost looks like, well, almost looks like a face. It's a very smooth face. Big dark eyes. No real nose to speak of, just a small bump. And you notice at the bottom side of it, there is a huge fracture and like almost like a giant cave that's kind of hanging down from the mouth. And this thing, again, it's like more than 100 feet in diameter. And you can see that it's just there kind of carved into the side of the cliff. Now, Jack, this was taken by one of our advanced team. And I would like you to go get proper eyes on it. See if it's just an aberration, some geological erosion, whether this, that, or the other, or whether if it's something more interesting going on there. Can you do that for me, Jack?
Yes. Now I know I was sent here.
You were sent here? Thought you said you came here because you're a coward.
That's how I received my promotion. That's how I came here.
Well, Jack, this is what you're going to do. You're going to get those brothers of yours, the arsonist and the other one.
Oh, no, my brothers. The brothers, yes.
Yes. You're going to... Chimera's already handed over Khan. Apparently, she is not the best suited for colony security, so she's going to babysit you. We do have reports there are plenty of creatures out here that, well, they will certainly try to kill you. We also are going to send with you a couple other doctors, a couple scientists. We're going to make it look good. We want proper studies along the way, flora, fauna. We want materials analysis, etc. But prioritize our interests, Jack. You understand?
Yes, I do understand. We want to know what's in there. We want to know if we can sell it.
Excellent.
Yes.
Now, you have any questions?
Let me think. And as I'm thinking, I'm looking around. I'm looking specifically to see if there's a case in this office. I'm trying to be discreet.
I'm going to say, because you got the panic on your observation.
That's fine.
I'm going to say you don't see anything like that.
Okay. Yes. Well, as far as with company employees, etc., if someone were to say lose their contract with this company, would another company be able to pick them up? Or would they have to? Would they have to leave the planet, go home?
Well, let's just hope that doesn't happen now.
In particular interest to Mr. Boyd.
I think you should just let that lie. You have more important matters to attend to.
Duly noted. Good point, well made.
Is there anything else?
No, I appreciate you taking the time and for your understanding.
Now get some rest, Jack. You look like shit. Door's there.
True thing was never said. As I go ahead and leave.
Okay. We'll cut to Michelle and Scooter. You've been messing around with his body.
Yeah.
How did you do on that medical aid there, Michelle?
A grand total of 1 success.
Oh boy. Okay. So,
which I suppose I could push, just for
to you.
funsies. I'll go ahead and
we know how you do well with pushing stuff.
3
Okay.
successes. Sorry,
Right,
total of 4 after the push.
Okay, so with 4, okay. So the one thing is, you can confirm time of death is likely somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks. Like you're somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's been roughly a month. Secondly, you don't see any clear signs of there being a kind of exterior cause of death. Like you don't see, like I was saying before, you can confirm there's no gunshot, stab wounds, fall damage, etc. But what is very troubling to you is that as you open her up, once you thaw her out, you realize that all of her internal organs have completely liquefied and were apparently frozen into one giant, like, gelatinous body. And once you melted it, it just sort of spewed out in this one giant goo. No way to discern heart from liver, from lung, from kidney, etc. All of it just kind of this one big fail goop. Skeletal structure is intact. Doesn't look like there's any issues there. But the organs themselves look like it was kind of liquefied from inside.
I'm sorry, I don't remember my corpse being Boston Creamfield. Is it normally looking like that?
Scooter, you have done an absolutely amazing job keeping the flame at just the right distance to bring this body back up to temperature in a very measured. You could be useful.
Are you okay? You're talking awfully fast.
You are right. I feel the need to prove myself after how awfully I did in investigating the previous dead body. And you're right for pointing out that maybe I'm overreaching.
It's fine. I mean, you don't need to prove shit to me. I mean, I already think you're the best doctor on base.
I am the only doctor on base.
I did not know that.
I believe that.
It's not even remotely true. There's over 600 people.
This is Frank Empire. Like, this is just a reversal of Frank.
I know, right?
Anyway.
Oh, goodness.
No, but thank you. Good health is important to know when you are reaching. But yes, we know much more about this one.
Why are they jelly on the inside when they should be bags of meat?
I do not know. That is, if we're trying to figure out cause of death, the Boston creaming, as you so elegantly put it, could be cause of death, I suppose. If there was something that
good night, then it was a bad night.
That could have.
Well, I hate to say it, but that one angry policewoman that I totally remember the name of, she's not going to take. This lady was Boston creamed.
No, Ms. Kimura will look for a different medical explanation. At this time, there are no obvious signs of trauma or anything like that. We should make sure to inform her that the time of death was actually 4 to 6 weeks, as that timeline might be crucial to any investigation that is occurring. But you're right. There must be a medical term that is better than, yes, I will consider that before providing her with my update.
Okay. Cool. Well, what do you do with a nasty ass body after you done dissected it? Got another deep freeze we can put it in and staple it shut? The body, not the deep freeze.
Yes, we do. Of course. In an expedition like this, there is the unfortunate plan that all of the individuals who arrive here are not going to be all of the individuals that might leave at some other point in time. So freezing for now, and then I'm sure incineration at some future point.
Hell, this one's got to start on both.
Yes, indeed. And so Michelle will get Scooter's help to sort of move this body into kind of a deep freeze, and then she'll write up a very official, medically appropriate sounding description for her autopsy of Ms. Novik.
Okay.
You know, after you're done with that, we hadn't had breakfast yet. I heard they got eggs over in the mess.
Well, you are right. We have been working on an empty stomach, and that is not healthy.
I agree.
You are
I'm a
full
genius.
of yes, indeed. I must make sure that we are eating on regular intervals, and we have just forgotten those intervals. Where has my
I got a question. Is it better to eat like 3 larger meals throughout the day? Because I've heard other people say you should eat smaller meals spaced more evenly throughout the entire day, equaling out that same like calorie.
So my belief on those things is a bit more intuitive. So you listen to your body, and your body tells you when it is time to eat. Though, on the other hand, sometimes when you're busy, you might forget, in which case then you probably shouldn't go any more than
I had a friend
4 hours
who loved ice cream so much that he done tricked his body into wanting to eat ice cream all the time.
Well, and see, I'm not sure that ice cream could be your sole sustenance, but if you enjoy ice cream, it just means that you've got at least 10 to 20 extra laps a day. That's,
you know, we always called him Burst Belly Bill. You want to know how he got that name?
I'm sure I don't, but how did he get that name?
Oh, well, he after his 4th heart attack, they had him do that thing where they change his stomach so he can't, to help lose weight. He said, screw that. I ain't letting no staples stop me.
Oh, well, see, if that had been a patient of mine, I absolutely believe that he would have had a different outcome, because it's not about deprivation. And I just think he just had the wrong medical team. Now that you mention it, I'm really hungry. Can we go find that?
Yeah, let's go.
That breakfast? Yes, let's.
Okay, so fade out of that. We'll say some time passes for everybody at this point. We'll say a whole shift, in fact. So all of you at this point who were damaged and even had stress, you can start weaving that down, as you should be by the time we kind of pick up again. You'll probably be good to go, because you get, I think it's 1 stress back per like 5 to 10 minutes, like basically per turn. I think.
Yeah,
I think it's per turn, which means a whole shift is going to be many, many turns. And so the same thing with health. Your health should be good too. So you can go ahead and start refreshing that. We'll say some time passes. The rest of the day, those of you who want to get food, those of you who want to rest, those of you who need to get cleaned up, whatever it might be. But at a certain point, we'll say, Skeeter, you as one of the sort of the lead surveying crews, you're called over to a meeting with with one of the sort of the major, and one of the, what the hell the building is called? I'm trying to remember what the building was called off the top of my head, and I should have just checked because I had plenty of time.
Rectangle.
You're going to the mining and prospecting operations center, which is like where they kind of plot and plan and all those types of things. As you go inside, Skeeter, you'll see that walking around there are plenty of other folk, much like yourself. You can see mostly it's blue collar worker types, other wildcatters, other prospectors. and there's like the sound of like various machinery going on. You can see there's all these like lit up tables and desks nearby where they're like doing some kind of sample study, and you can see there's like chunks of rock, mineral, etc. You can see that there's like a big board up, like a big screen up on the board that kind of indicates like which teams are being sent out into like which quadrants and which sections of the planet, etc. And you like take a seat somewhere, and like there's this big old, very formal briefing. A woman by the name of Dr. Aria Rossi comes up, and she kind of goes through it all. She's like the prospector general, is kind of what they call her. And she's kind of starting to organize teams, missions, send them out here and there. And you realize by the time she gets to the end of that assignment, you're not given one. And you can see everybody else is kind of getting up and moving past. Like one or two guys like look over at you and just sort of like shake their heads or laugh, or like they do like, oh, like someone's in trouble kind of deal. But they all kind of leave and go off. But yeah, you don't get one. You do, Skeeter.
Hey, that was an immaculately presented meeting there. Lots of good information, a lot of good stuff to just let seep in. Man, my brain's like a sponge, just ready to absorb, take it all in. So obviously you saved the best for last, right? Got all them other fools out of the room?
Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter.
Please wear it out. I love my name.
Well, I was going to offer you an assignment, but I figured since you're spending so much time playing amateur detective, that maybe you don't have any time left in your schedule to do the job that you were recruited to do when you first took on this colony gig.
I hear you on that. That was my asshole brother, Skeeter, I get it, and we are related. That some bitch has got me in so much trouble my whole life, and I'm terribly sorry that by association I have dragged the good name of this organization into the mud. I mean, actually, we like to be in the mud. So it's not the best analogy, but what I'm saying is I apologize.
Do you?
I
so
do.
Your brother,
I like
Stanley Scooter Carter.
And
she turns around and she has like, you have like a list of people that might be assigned, and like your name is there. So the one who's going to go out on survey missions with you, maintain the operational functionality of your vehicle, it's his fault.
It's true. He's good at what he does. He's just also dumb as dirt.
I see. Well, since you apologize.
I do.
Well, Mr. Carter, I do in fact have an assignment for you. It is one that has been passed along to me to pass along to you. So apparently you've made some friends in higher places. With such a affable demeanor, I can see how that's possible.
Man, I think you're trying to sweeten me up, and I like it.
Right. Anyhow, and so she come with me, and she brings you over, and she opens, like, you can see on this big old screen on the table, she starts going through a couple controls, like you hear the click, click, click of typing, and you can see the screen start to show this topographical map of the area. And she kind of describes how, like, you guys are on a continental area, and she shows you where the actual colony is amongst these riverlands. And then she starts showing all these different quadrants that are currently being surveyed, and they're kind of moving out. And each time someone gets sent in the survey, they kind of get further and further, and they start spiraling outward. And she points out a specific kind of wedge going out westwardly from the colony itself. You seem to be like sort of encompassing this fairly heavy river, this main river that kind of runs in this westward slant down into these lowlands and then kind of dissipates. And then you can see the topography gets much higher and higher, and you can see there's almost like these not quite mountains, but some very high elevations. And she points this out, and she says, this is your task. And so she says, she points off along the way, proper samples, flora, fauna, mineral deposits.
All right.
take samples.
Okay.
We have assigned you, and at this point, she waves over 2 others. And you see these 2 women approach, both probably middle-aged, 40s, something like that. This is Dr. Morgan. This is Dr. Valdez. They're going to be coming along with you. I see that your brother is good enough to maintain operational equipment. You seem to be capable of assessing various mineral deposits and such. Doctors here are going to be taking care of some other tasks along the way. You're to make sure that they have everything they need.
Dr. Morgan, Dr. Valdez, I am your personal assistant for anything you need. I'm so happy you're going to be coming with us.
They look
Going
at
to
you,
raise the intelligence of the room by 100-fold, I'm sure.
and then they look at Dr. Rossi, and then they look at you. They look at Dr. Rossi. We're very happy to join your team, Skeeter.
Yeah. Man, this just turned out to be a great day. Making all sorts of new friends.
Excellent. Well, tomorrow early, we'll have our equipment at the vehicle bay, and we'll be ready to go. Yes?
Okay, excellent.
Everyone kind of shakes hands and such, and then they
Doctor?
depart.
Doctor?
Do you call yourself doctor?
I do.
Do you have a degree? Do you have a PhD?
Doctor of Thugonomics. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. You're very funny.
Thank you.
They turn and they walk away. Okay. So some more time passes. What's that?
Oh,
Say it
he
again?
just turned to Ross. He's like, they were really good, don't you think?
Oh, they were enamored. Yes, you seem like
know.
fast friends.
Don't get jealous now. Later.
Dr. Rossi's like 65.
I know, I don't care. That makes it more fun. Try and get a smile out of her.
So you all have a little bit of time if there's anything you wanted to do in the colony before like your expedition departs the next day. So if there's anything you guys wanted to do before you leave, you're welcome to do it. Otherwise, we can jump forward.
I just wanted to buy some I should have found this before, I'm sorry. But some medical stuff. You had it on you the last time, Michelle. Do you remember? They were like $2 a pop. Yeah,
nap relief? Talking about nap relief?
Maybe that's what I'm doing. But essentially, I want to buy like 5 or 6 of something.
Nap relief
I'll
is
find
for
it.
stress.
So Never Sleep and Nap Relief. So Never Sleep is $2, and then I think Nap Relief is 20.
Okay, so I think 5 Never Sleep and 2 Nap Reliefs.
Yeah, Never Sleep is stress, like Jeff was saying, and then Nap.
They do the opposite.
So Nap
Never
Relief
Sleep
reduces
keeps you
stress
up and
to
increases
0.
your stress. Yeah.
That's right. Nap Relief brings your stress all the way down to 0, and it's $20 a pop.
Yeah, and it doesn't let you relieve stress. So, like if you're on Never Sleep, I don't think you actually can relieve stress.
That's all I want to do was to buy a few things. So I'll just add that to my sheet.
Okay. So then, does anybody else have any other odds and ends they wanted to do?
No.
Couple extra, maybe cans of fuel for the vehicles. No particular reason, just in case.
Okay. All right. Sure. So you can go ahead and collect
them from the shop too.
Yeah, if you're not stealing them, you actually want to requisition them appropriately.
No, I am stealing them from the shop. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not paying for these things. This is company business.
If you want to steal them, go ahead and give me like a mobility test to see if you can get in and out without anyone noticing you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're gonna like they finally convinced everyone that you're not an arsonist, and then immediately go and steal.
I'm gonna push that.
It's a fail. Hey, there you go.
There we go.
All right. Okay. You don't get stopped.
See?
You don't get stopped. So there's that. Okay. All right. Day pass. Morning comes. You all are getting your things together, coming out of your pause, etc. And Michelle, you, as you're getting up and leaving your pod, you can see that there is someone has slipped something like into like under, it's kind of like under the door kind of deal, right? And so you have like there's a small little file folder right there underneath the door, right as you step out, or right as you step up from your bed, I should say.
Yeah, and so she'll kind of, after she kind of wipes her eyes, she like her eyes will light up that this is like something, just for her. Mm-hmm. And so she'll like quick grab it, open it up, hold it over to the light.
So what you see is a memo that had been sent out to various like department heads. Attention, such and such. And you can see like there's folks that are in the medical field. So I don't think you're a department head, but you're a doctor. You didn't necessarily. And then you also see some in like botany, some in various science departments. And it's essentially an invitation to a meeting. And the meeting is going to be kind of covering like an overview of early finds of like the flora and such that have been found in the area, so as to debrief what is edible, what can be used for medicinal purposes, et cetera, et cetera. And the memo was actually sent out and delivered on the second day of the colony, so yesterday. Okay. And you see that the memo is from Farah Novak.
And so she's talking out loud to herself. That's just not possible. That's just not at all possible. And then she'll think back to that she kind of needed to make sure that it was known to Ms. Kimura that this was 4 to 6 weeks ago. And then she'll look through the folder and just see if anyone left a note or who slipped us under the door.
Nothing. No note. It's just literally a folder. And then the inside, there's one little print up of a piece of paper. You're not even supposed to get that memo, but it is a memo invitation to a specific meeting. That's all it is. Very benign looking notification.
Yeah. And the meeting was supposed to have happened yesterday?
Yeah. Well, it was delivered yesterday. Meeting's later today.
Oh, okay. So Michelle does want to see if she can go over to Ms. Kimura's office.
Okay. So we'll say in the morning, you go over to the civil marshal section. You get invited to see, you want to speak with Kimura. She'll say you get in, no problem. And she'll, much like Krish, she's sitting like the principal behind a desk as you walk in. Good morning, Dr. O'Gwyn. Surprised to see you.
Yes, ma'am. And she'll close the door behind her. I did want to make sure that you were fully informed as to my findings yesterday. I did write up a report. I just wanted to make sure that it had crossed your desk.
I did, in fact, read your report. You did excellent work. Thank you.
Yes, and so you noticed that the time of death was likely 4 to 6 weeks ago.
Yes, I read your report. Very thorough work.
Yes, and are there any inconsistencies with any colony activities that might have been connected to Ms. Novak that might have come after 4 to 6 weeks ago?
Dr. O'Gwyn, I can't really comment on ongoing investigations. You have played your role in that. You've done it admirably. But at this point, I think it's best you leave it to the professionals.
And she's gonna push her luck. And so she's in her pocket. She had folded the memo.
Okay.
So it would be inconsistent then for an email to have been sent, a memo to have been sent from Ms. Novik more recently than 4 to 6 weeks ago. Yes?
Not unless
And
she
she
can
just sort
send
of
messages from beyond the grave. Do you give the memo over?
I'm just holding it up so it's visible, but it's still sort of in my hand.
Like way back here, so she has to do like a eyeglasses thing.
Because she's sort of like
Is it a G?
pointing out the date on it, like from, Ms. Novik on a date definitely after the 4 to 6 weeks ago.
Dr. O'Gwen, where did you get that memo?
The memo found its way to me.
It found its way to you. Very interesting. May I see it?
And she sort of does that, like holding it up, kind of that like see with your eyes, not with your hands. Like
Dr. O'Gwen, the death of Ms. Novik is a ongoing investigation, and if you're claiming to have a piece of evidence that might be informative as to the circumstances surrounding her death, it behooves you to hand that over to the civil marshal who is in charge of that investigation. And to not do so, well, you would be obstructing that investigation and would be then subject to punishment.
Oh, of course. I am here in your office to discuss such things. So something that I'm ensuring to make sure that you're aware of.
In my office, yes.
Put it
I believe that
desk.
you are currently scheduled to go off on an out-of-colony expedition.
Well, yes. And this is just how much I value ensuring that this investigation comes to a conclusion, that I made sure to have this conversation with you before departing.
She reaches and slowly drags the paper to her, looks at it briefly, and starts folding it up. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Now, you might want to hurry along or you're going to miss your ride.
Yes, of course. And I, of course, want to be seeing if she reacts in any way to the memo or anything as we're having this conversation. Yep.
Yeah.
4 successes.
Yeah, you can tell she is not surprised by the date or anything like that. What she is surprised about is that you have the memo. And you also can tell that she is hiding something very clearly. Like it's like you can see like these small little almost imperceptible twitches here and there as you continue to kind of push. You're kind of annoying her because you continue to pry.
Okay. And I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm just going to file that information away because, as she pointed out, I'm running late. So she'll just, well, like I said, I who knows how long I would be gone, and I wouldn't want to have delayed getting this information to you. But you are right. Promptness is very important, and I need to make sure that I get to that. Join up with the rest of my group.
Well,
she's
good luck on your expedition.
Out of the room.
You back out, close the door, and you leave. The rest of you make it over to the vehicle bay without a problem. Start loading up. Scooter, you had an extra diesel to the back of the truck.
Yeah.
A couple people are looking at you as you do that. Jack, Krish, Skeeter, no issues. However, at a certain point, you see Dr. Morgan, who, Carter, you have met already, or Skeeter, excuse me, you have met. Dr. Valdez, both of them, the two of them come up. They introduce themselves to the rest of the group. And while they look perfectly fine, they have some equipment with you. They also have with them 2 working Joes as they kind of start directing the working Joes to do certain things for them. Kind of loading various equipment, things and such into the back of your very large rover, which takes 12 people, and you currently have 9 if you count these working Joes.
And is everyone here, Seegson?
Everyone is Seekson, as far as you know.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Morning.
It's good to see that everyone is still here. Doing well enough, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Skeeter, if I remember right.
That's right.
Yes. And you're not Skeeter, you're Scooter.
I'm Scooter.
Yes. Then, of course, there's Krishna. And then Ogwin? Michelle.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Very well. And then he'll go on with the other people saying hellos, and then he'll come back around to Scooter and say, "So, Scooter, would you be so kind as to walk me through your particular thought process when I said not to let anyone find out what led you to burning the building to the ground?"
You said, don't let anyone find out.
Yes,
about the corpse.
I did.
Is anyone going to find out about that corpse now?
They are not. That was quite the amount of initiative that you had shown.
Valdez and Morgan are looking at each other.
That.
What's this about a corpse?
Nothing. You mind your business, or you're going to meet my friend 5 Gallons.
Oh. He doesn't mean that.
I don't. I really don't. I'm a nice guy.
You gotta look at each other. Sure. Okay.
Well, everything that was done was approved through upper management.
Yes.
It was a turn of events.
It was one hell of a turn.
Yeah.
Yes, I will say that. But in my particular meeting I just had with Arthur York, it was made very clear to me that I should be even more clear with you when giving directions.
Oh. All right. Well, you should do that then. I hate for your boss to be mad at you about it.
He was, but I understand that it is on me. That I should be more clear with you. But let's try to avoid damaging company property from now on.
All right. Any evidence that you ask me to dispose of in the future, I will do so in a way that does not lead to the destruction of company property.
Yes. And yes, we all agree that you say things stupidly. So,
I mean,
yes, Krishna, you'll soon be my everything.
And she looks at Michelle like, you were late. You're never late.
Oh, well, everyone knows just how sloppily everything had been left when we arrived, and I just needed to make sure that things were in order before we leave, because who knows how long we will be gone.
That's a good point. Speaking of, company property and all that, Dr. Morgan, Dr. Vargas, just as a heads up, when we're out there, just something we've observed, if your Joes start looking up at the sky unexpectedly, be ready for them to start being weird. Just forewarned is forearmed or something like that.
Thank you, Skeeter. We'll take that under advisement. We appreciate the warning.
Yeah. We're going to have a good time.
Krish walks into the car and finds a spot that she can kind of nestle up in and take a nap.
Okay.
So does everyone here know what we are doing?
We're going to find the good shit.
Yes, the good shit that's in the ground.
That's right. They call me Dr. Good Shit.
Wake me when we get there, okay?
Wake me up before we go? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be sure to do that. Thank you. Yes, we're looking for materials. We're looking to assess what sort of minerals are there. That way we can see about sending stuff back home, selling on the market, making sure that we make our company money and they can continue paying us.
Now, listen, with that comment there, I don't think that's how our company makes money. Like it's all through copyrights, right?
I'm sorry to interrupt, and Mr. Garrett, but this is
Geralt.
Dr. Morgan. She's like, Geralt?
Yes.
Geralt.
It's like girl with a T at the end.
Excellent. I also expected to observe and tag wildlife along the way, and Dr. Valdez is here to observe and tag flora along the way. It's not just what's in the earth, but also other materials, other life forms. There is a very complex ecosystem alive on this planet, or excuse me, this moon, and we would like to study that. There are significant opportunities for pharmaceutical advancements, food industry.
That's what I was saying. It's the copyrights. It's not the actual items.
Well, the actual items allow for study, which then lead to, and you are not wrong, Mr.
I'm Scooter.
Scooter.
Dr. Scooter, if you want to be formal.
Dr. Scooter. As Dr. Scooter has said, that is not, he's not wrong.
Man, you should have been with us last time when we had them space turtles we had to deal with.
Learning
to be enough of the turtles.
Learning to be more clear. Our only purpose is not to go and assess these materials that are in the ground. That is correct. It is mainly what Skeeter and Scooter will be focusing on.
Yeah, man. This is a holistic
focusing
mission.
on the dirt.
Right,
this whole time, Michelle just keeps idling toward the vehicle because Krisha already went and sat, and she just keeps scooting. Are we gonna go? Are we gonna go?
I'm ready to drive.
Krisha's
you
probably mostly asleep already.
Asleep at this point. So this feels like a conversation that there's
man.
Her personal agenda. She's just super jazzed to be here and wants to see all of the things, and so she's kind of we're just standing around and talking.
Doc,
yes. Thank you. As I start walking in towards the vehicle, and I'll say, thank you. So much of what happens at my level is bureaucracy, and it can lead to tying things up. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad we're having this conversation while we're walking to this is yes, we're going to
Doc, if you want us to shut up and get in the car and go, I mean, next time all you got to do is yell out shotgun.
Oh, he said it. You say that was sneak away for already. You to say it.
Well, there you were just too quick, and Krisha already grabbed the excellent window seat in the back.
Oh man,
no, it's fine. I'm driving, so it don't matter.
Who knew we'd ever get paid to drive stuff cooler than we could steal?
Right?
So Scooter and Skeeter up front, drive and shotgun.
I hope you don't drive it like you stole it.
Oh, hell no.
It depends on if they're space turtles. I got to tell you, that's the deciding factor. True.
And you could tell that one of the doctors, I'm trying to remember which one's which. So you can see that Dr. Morgan is very interested in space turtles. What?
Mm-hmm. Big things made of weird ice spike things,
like a mortar.
Do you mind if I sit up front with you?
Hey, we can. If you don't mind,
so
riding
she just
in the
comes
center.
Up and she just wedges herself between the two of you, and she starts just asking you questions about the space turtle for the whole trip. And she's got a pad out and she's writing, and it's very detailed.
Yeah, there I was dealing with my idiot brother's terrible driving, bravely jumping into the back on the sled, tying a mining torch onto a rope to get the turtle to bite at it.
Could you tell? And she's asking. She's kind of dismissing the heroic stuff and really asking.
Yeah, they look like big dirt mounds, but they were uncanny valley dirt mounds.
That's fascinating. They're actually they were documented by some of the drones guy. However, most of them were not on this continent. However, it's fascinating that they would be found.
We found a whole horde of them. Only reason we got away was through a narrow passage, but
interesting.
I don't know if that's the direction we're going.
No.
Skeeter's the one with the map, but if I see them weird dirt mounds, I'll drive right up on next to it so you can get a closer look.
I marked it on the map because there was a space nearby. I was planning on prospecting on kind of the river formation I saw. It's right here. Okay. I'll just pull it up later on the screen as we're driving.
Yeah, that was right where them working droves were staring up at the sky again.
So we'll say you guys back out.
Oh, I'm not supposed to mention that. My bad.
Well, it's already been mentioned, I think. I think Skeeter already mentioned it to them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So You guys back out. You start driving through the streets. All this conversation has already started. You haven't even left the colony, and you're still talking about it. You go through the process of kind of opening the gates, and out you go into the world. So the way we're going to treat this, like it's a lengthy journey. You are literally doing a cross-continental travel in this vehicle. The continent isn't as wide as like the US or Canada or anything like that, but it's still a continent. So you're kind of traversing from where you're at, which is towards the east in these river lands that are still far away from somewhat far away from like the Eastern Ocean. And you're trying to get kind of to the Western continent. And you're following for much of the way this very large river. And then like there's some undulating terrain. So what we're going to do is basically, we're going to do like a one day thing. So we're going to like every day we're going to kind of travel. You're going to tell me what it is you're doing. I'm going to roll to see if anything happens during that day. And we're going to kind of treat it like that. So it's just going to be that kind of situation. So I know that you guys have sort of identified where you are. In the back, you can see the other doctor, Dr. Valdez. She gets in with the two working Joes. And so now in the back, there's Michelle, there's Jack, Krish, Dr. Valdez, and two working Joes amongst your various equipment, right? Equipment for study, equipment for camp, etc. Because this is going to be a multiple day excursion away from the colony. You're going to be gone for like almost a week and a half. So who is driving? Okay.
I thought I was driving. Are you driving? Either or.
You called shotgun. We can trade.
Didn't I? No, it's fine. You can drive. I drove.
You can try to drive from shotgun like an idiot.
We're not going
to stretch your hands on over.
Nah, okay. You drive. I'm going to tell this doctor about the space turtles.
She's sweet on you. I can see it.
Listen,
she's between us.
He's just talking
whispering past
her. I'm only interested in a professional capacity. Skeeter.
Ooh, she called you professional.
Scooter.
Well, Dr. Scooter has many interesting observations I would like to ask about.
Yeah, I'm a goddamn doctor.
Okay. Whoever is... So let's see. A couple things. Whoever wants to be the person who's driving is going to be rolling a piloting test per day. Then if there's anybody that is doing... if you're looking out for danger, something like that, you can roll an observation. If there's anybody else who is looking to sort of navigate or try to find more intelligent ways forward, you can roll a survival test. So these are some of the things that you can roll. And then obviously there's plenty of people in the back you can talk to, do stuff with if there's other things that you want to do. So really I just need a piloting, observation, and survival every day. And that's kind of how I'm going to track this.
I want to do observation.
Have a higher than a 1 on survival. If not, I'll do survival.
I got a 0. That is higher than a 1, survival. Depending on which way your math goes.
That's true.
Are you rolling more than 6 for observation?
God, no.
Because I rolled an observation.
Okay.
I can push it. Because I got
all I'm looking for is space turtles. So if you're looking for something serious, you do it.
All right, I'll push because I got nada.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Okay, so I got piloting at 2, observation at 0, survival I believe it was 1. Okay, so the first day of travel isn't too terrible. You have the benefit of having a handful of bridges and minor small roads and places that have been repaired. So you're able to kind of make a lot of ground on day 1, and you find yourselves pushing further and further and further out. You pass by not so much because you're going in a different direction than when you went and saved the folks in the shuttle. So you haven't seen, I'll say, Scooter, if you're specifically looking for things like those small little space turtle hills, you haven't actually noticed any of them currently along the way. But towards we'll say towards the end of the day or the next morning or so, again, there's no light or dark. It's just all light. There is something that you will say, Chris, you kind of notice as the river that you've been following has various streams that kind of snake out here and there. But eventually you find yourselves having to veer a little bit further away from it because some of the ground and the terrain is slowing down your vehicle. And so, Chris, you're able to kind of help navigate in and around it. But you notice at one point, and maybe you idly talk, or maybe you say it directly, but you see the side of this hill that you're a ridge that you're driving above, and you can see this very strange kind of undulating slope. It almost looks like a bump slide in a playground if you think about it. And there's like where like you slide and there's a bump and there's another bump and there's another bump, and you can see that there is this. It's got to be at least a 2-mile curve around this ridge that you're driving above, and you can see this is going down. And all around, Chris, you watch as there are these. Let's try to put this, but there are these like burrows in places along this undulating slope where you can see these very dark, almost black streams of like water that seem to be popping up, out, and beginning to trickle down the slope even further. Now, you can't quite see exactly from the rover itself, like where that kind of slopes down to, but it creates this strange effect because you have like the kind of whitish, grayish slope itself, but then you have all these like black streaks, and it creates these kind of like vertical lines along the slope itself. And there, more than once, you can see that there are some kind of like animals that kind of pop up from these small burrows that like peek up and then like duck back into them and then disappear again. And you just see bubbling up this black water, again, continuing to slope and slope and slope down. And so that's what I'll say, Chris, with your survival, you're able to see this. In terms of observation, Michelle, you don't notice anything coming to kill you. And then driving, you don't run into any trouble driving. So, Chris, what do you want to do with all of that?
I'll lean forward and say loudly enough and grab her, like, hey, Doc, weren't you wanting to look for, what's that, fauna?
So
and
in the back, in the back, you have the Flora woman, and she's yes, Flora is plants.
Sorry, Doc. Well, one of those is over there.
And so she kind of leans forward and kind of gently pushes your head out of the way so she can look out the window that your head is by. Oh, fascinating! Driver. What was the driver's name again? Was it Peter? Peter?
Dr. Scooter. No.
Dr. Good Shit.
Driver, please, please stop the vehicle.
All right.
And Chris is laughing her fucking ass off.
Please stop the vehicle. There's something of interest for us.
Yeah.
And so when you guys get out, you stop, or whoever wants to get out, you can see the actual doctor up in the cab with you all, just climbs over top of you, Scooter, to get out the side again. They don't care about other people. They just kind of push your head to the side and climb over top and hop down. They each kind of get out some of these various readings. The working Joes are like kind of carrying these big old boxes and such for them. And they turn and look, will be, 2 hours or so. It could go faster if any of you could assist.
You want a hand? Just say it.
Yeah, I'll help you out. I'll go all in one of them holes and wrestle whatever little weird things in there and bring it on out.
Would you now? Excellent.
Yeah, no problem.
We will take you up on that. And so, Skeeter, you're going to help. Is anybody else doing anything to help with this?
I'm gonna provide ranged cover from here.
Okay. All right. So you can stay up on the ridge. All right. So who is trying to go down that kind of bumpy slope? And okay. So Scooter is, and Skeeter and Michelle.
Oh, Doc.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, and the three of you, as you start moving down, you realize it's a very treacherous slope. It's very smooth. Everything is very smooth. There's no real like clear handholds or footholds. Like you can move, but everything's very, very slick. And this dark water, this black water it's not freezing. Like you notice that there's plenty of ice around here, but this doesn't seem to freeze. and it's tricky, kind of as you start to kind of slowly climb down the side. So go ahead and give me a mobility test. Anyone who wants to do that.
By any chance, is there any
Driver,
spot
be
where I
careful.
is there any chance that there's a spot where I could affix my my folding winch before we start going down?
So the folding winch is your folding winch built into the rover, or is it something you have separate?
It's something that I have separate. Basically, if I can affix it, and then I've got the rope to go with it as well. If I can find a sturdy place, we can not have to make mobility rolls.
I think that actually makes perfect
Skeeter
sense.
sounds dumb, but he works smart.
Absolutely.
We got a sturdy place. We just fix it up to the front of the vehicle.
Absolutely. So we'll say that's exactly what happens. Is that you're able to kind of affix the winch there you can do it to the vehicle if you want, or you can just do it into the earth, and you run these lines down and you start climbing down, and you can see that both of the doctors start taking samples. You see they're taking samples of the water, they're taking samples of like some of the affected rock underneath it, and then the one that you've been talking to, Dr. Morgan, the one in the cab, turns to you, Scooter, is like, so you're going to climb in there, and you're going to safely and without harming one, you're going to retrieve one of those creatures inside, yes?
Yeah, problem.
We have a canister, and so she kind of hands over like this little sample canister. It's like something that you would put like a pet rat in, and she and it's got like little holes here and there for breathing. Well, if it's not, we have bigger ones, and right. You could also, and we have drugs to put it to sleep as well.
Okay.
Necessary.
Okay. Not okay for work.
Of course.
And Michelle's going to come around to like, sort of, she's talking to her on one side and Michelle's going to come around the other and sort of whisper in Scooter's ear. I don't think she wants a dead one, by the way. So try to find one that's alive. I think that's what she wants to study.
You got it, Doc. That's a good thinking right there. I want to just set that canister down on the ground. How big are these holes?
They're not much bigger than what you were crawling around in a day or so ago.
Oh,
like
okay.
Like you got to kind of like weave into them.
It's like when you go noodling for a big catfish. Like you got to go head in first. And that's what I do.
Who head first noodles? That's crazy. Ugh.
Listen, I may or may not be from a land that is entirely not watery. I don't fucking know. I just fucking dive in with my hands and
okay. All right.
Okay. Noodle this son of a bitch and hope it ain't got sharp teeth.
Go ahead and I'll say, give me a survival test as you try to climb into this burrow and fetch out something.
I'm great with survival.
Okay.
Look at that. I got a success.
You weave your way in. You're getting coated by this black water, by the way, and it's silty and it's staining like your clothes. It's staining your hair. Your hair is kind of darkening. Your skin is even kind of getting stained as you're just kind of getting hit by it as you climb in. It's not like it's a big torrent of water, but there is like a steady stream coming out from the side of the slope.
How's it smell?
It smells foul. It definitely smells like it's almost like smells like sewer water in some ways. It just smells, it smells filthy.
Then I am going to resist my second question with every fiber of my being.
Which is?
Well, it was going to be, how's it taste? But if it smells that bad, I ain't finding out.
Okay. Yeah. So you climb in and eventually you kind of pop and you slide through and you are open up in what looks to be some kind of warren. And you can see that the water continues to extend further and deeper, but it kind of goes underneath like a wall. I don't think you could probably get back in there.
Nah.
But you see these tiny little like pockets, like these little holes about yay big, about the size of maybe like a grapefruit or a cantaloupe or something like that, and the walls. Okay. And you see some tiny little creatures kind of moving about in them.
I just dart in real quick and grab a couple.
Give me like a mobility test to see how many you can get.
You got it.
They're not very big.
I got a success and a panic, but I'm keeping it together.
Sure. You reach in, you grab one. You feel a small bite on your hand. It doesn't hurt. It's like, but it's like a very small bite. But you grab hold of it and you pull something out and you hear it starting to squeak. And it's like, and you see all of the other holes every single other one in here just they start darting out, and you see about 3 dozen or so just start pouring out of the walls around you, like climbing over top of you, jumping into the water, and you see them kind of fleeing out of this warren here. Those of you who are on the outside, you watch as a burst of water comes out, and then a torrent of these small, relatively furry-looking rodents. They kind of have they almost look like a mole in some way, but they have like very bushy fur, and they're very dark. But you can see a bunch of them just start popping out, and they're slip sliding all the way down this slope. Some of them have managed to kind of scatter and go off in different directions.
So Michelle would like to troll Scooter a little bit, since now they're all flying out. She wants to try to grab one of these like other little canisters that the doctor might have brought over, and see if, without getting dirty and smelly, she can just like grab one of these while
Give me a mobility test. Give me a mobility test. Yeah.
Up here.
Hell yes.
Oh,
2
God.
successes.
You manage to just like scoop up one and grab another, and you put the cap on, and you've got these 2 pristine. They're kind of wet because they were slopping around in that water, but you have 2 of them in a canister, and like Dr. Bro, oh my God, thank you so much. And like they're struggling here and there, and she comes over, and so by the time Dr. Scooter comes out, she's already talking with Michelle, like, oh my God, you did such a wonderful job. 2 specimens. Oh my goodness. I wonder, this is going to be so wonderful.
I got you one.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Scooter. That's very nice. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. You got another one. Oh, that's so, and you really put in the effort to grab that. My goodness, look at you. You were so committed to this. Doctor, the commitment of this gentleman.
Here's the Tidra. He went in there and flushed him out just right.
Krish. And I'll give it to Jack, too, because you 2 haven't really been... And Skeeter, you can do it as well. The 3 of you, roll an observation test while this is all kind of happening. Just observations. So, oh my God, so many dice just got thrown out.
Sorry.
Okay.
Of course. I should be good at it. But
Jack and Krish, you look down, and you can see that they're not that far below you. They're like a lump or 2 down, like one of those, because like it's almost like a rounded tier slope, right? And you can see they're maybe 2 tiers down, and there's still a handful of more that deplete down into this sort of foggy little area below. And you see the fog occasionally shifts and moves, and when it does, you can see that there's like a dark pond down there, which makes sense. There's all this water filtering. But Jack and Krish, both of you watch as these small creatures that have been scattered and flushed into this burrow, they kind of slide down. You can see they're running. Some of them are running sideways. Some of them get caught up in the current. And you watch as a few of them fall down into that pool. And then you watch as they're like kind of like paddling around in that dark pool of water at the bottom of the slope. The 2 of you watch as a large mouth about the width of your rover just scoops up and just clomps down on about half a dozen or so of them, and you just no longer hear the squealing anymore. And then it just rolls over to the side and dips back down into the water. That's Jack and Krish.
Going in.
Do we have a hand comms or anything?
You guys you're maybe 50 yards from each other. You can shout.
Okay. Krish is going to shout down there. There's something big and mean in the water behind you. If you're done, you should leave.
Yes, it appears to be some sort of predator.
Oh man, I got an idea. No, we got some spares, right? Y'all got any sort of tracking devices? Like, you know how sometimes people tag stuff out in wildlife or not?
Oh, I know where you're going. I got the bait right here.
Exactly.
I'm not saving any of you.
No, we let it swallow one of these little sumbitches that has a tracking device in it, and then boom, we can't catch the sumbitch, but you can follow its movements.
Oh, that's not where I was going. I think you said spare like a tire, and we were going to do the same thing. We were going to hook this thing, toss it in with some rope tied to a tire that'll float, and that way you got a buoy showing you where it's at in the water.
That is a wonderful idea, Scooter, but there is one thing in particular. We have not yet determined whether this is waterborne only or if it's amphibious. I think if we were to try and tag something like this and we were to make it angry, and if it were amphibious and it were to come out and get us, I would rely on the experts, though, as I look over towards
Michelle just sort of holds up her gun and she's like, that's what these are for.
I mean, I don't want to shoot it. I just figure we got a tracking device. We put it inside one of the things it likes to eat. Oh.
So Dr. Morgan will be like, that sounds like an excellent idea. We can take the one that Dr. Scooter found, since we don't actually need that one anymore, because Dr. Le Guin was able to find 2. We can put the tracker in that, and we can fish it on down and see if it'll eat it.
Do you concur as I look to the other doctor?
They're all like, they're looking over at you and they're like scraping what looks like some dark moss off the inside of this burrow that Scooter had just come off, taking little tiny samples in the petri dish and everything.
Right. So, I've learned, particularly from watching Prometheus, that you should trust biologists when they think that things are okay. Yeah, let's do this.
There's just still up top, like watching all this in the scope. Like, she sees them talking. He's like, all right, they're figuring stuff out. Just waiting.
So,
and I'll just turn to Doctor.
Okay.
Scooter. Doctor.
So do you guys do this?
Doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. So you tag one of these tiny little ones that you have in Scooter's hands. Squeak, 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 squeak. And then you just sort of like wet it up in the water and let it slide down the slope. And it lands with the water and just kind of splashes around for a bit. And then eventually you see what giant, like the mouth is literally the width of your rover, opens up and just swallows up whatever's in there.
Science, man.
Rish, you weren't kidding. That is quite the large-sized mouse there.
Oh, man.
Are you done? Are you all done?
I guess so. Best road trip ever.
Yeah, just 1 second, and Michelle's gonna grab like a flask or something and sort of go over to Scooter and try to help like clean him off a bit, because like now she kind of feels a little bad.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, I'm gonna chalk that up to teamwork. I was like the hunting dog. I flushed him out. You caught.
And we had no way of knowing that was going to happen ahead of time. That it was just and she's just kind of like dumping.
If that doc wouldn't have blown me off for getting that one, I would have been willing to tell her all about the den and the warren that I saw inside. But she was all like, "Ooh," so I'm like, I ain't telling you jack nor shit.
There was a warren?
Yeah, there's like a shitload of them, like these honeycomb things, and they were all like they all were like, it was wild. They had TVs and stuff in there.
They had television.
Rich is gonna yell down again. Can you all please talk up here and not down there?
You didn't call out the right word to get us to go to the vehicle. Get
the fuck up here. Is that the right word?
Scooter.
No.
Scooter. Mm-hmm. Would you please be so kind as to escort me back up to the vehicle?
Fine.
Okay. So you offer him
he's
your
a
arm.
professional and an escort.
Gotta make my money somehow.
I know you do. You hustling.
So you all climb back up, load back up the truck, wind the winch back in, and you continue on. So the rest of the day kind of passes. We'll say that was morning. You're driving around for a while. Whoever is kind of doing observation, whoever is actually just kind of looking out the side, go ahead and give me an observation test as you're just kind of keeping an eye. And more than one person could do this. Like, there's no reason we can't have more than one person.
Chuck, why don't you try observation? Because all of the dice I rolled didn't work well. So why don't you give it a shot?
Well, I didn't see shit, and whatever shit I didn't see.
Okay.
I can also try observation, but I was also going to try survive.
Yeah, I would say you're on survival duty. So let's, but it looks like Jack rolled. So Jack, we'll say as Scooter is getting pestered with questions by the doctor up front, and about this warren that you saw, asking all sorts of questions about like what was the layout? Was it honeycomb style? Was it rose style? Did there seem to be a hierarchy of in how they actually function? Were there family units? Over and over and over again. You just can't really focus.
Yeah.
But Jack, you notice something. You notice off to the north a ways. First, you hear something. You hear it almost sounds like it's certainly animal calls. Sounds almost like howls to some degree. And you notice that running alongside your vehicle, maybe 15 yards away or so, you see a pack of maybe 6 or 7 different creatures, each of which is they kind of have a canine look to them, but there's something shiny about their dermis, like it's not so much fur as it might be some kind of scale type situation. But you see they're like running alongside, and they're running alongside. They're yipping and kind of yelling, and then they start to weave away, and you see them like kind of get this sort of disappear a bit into this this kind of white countryside. About an hour later, it happens again. Go ahead. Go. Okay. What were you gonna say?
After the first time, I'll turn to the first doctor I see, and I'll say, take a look at that over there. It appears that they were running alongside us, much like a dog does back at home with a car.
You can see they nod, and they're still kind of talking to Scooter, and then they look out, and it's right at that time when they kind of look out, but they don't see it. Like they veered off and like into the countryside.
There was a pack of them. There was about.
I'm sure there was. I'm sure there was, Mr. Geralt with a T, girl with a T. Yes, Geralt. I'm sure there was. Yes. Now, anyhow, about that warren, Dr. Scooter, as they kind of turn off to the side. About an hour later, Jack, you see it happen again. They're like running alongside. They're yipping. They're yelling. Do you do anything?
Hello?
What's that?
You see this now?
And then look out. Well, no. Mr. Gelt, please, this is a very professional expedition. If you can't be bothered to focus on the task at hand. I know science can be very boring. I know science can sometimes take time, but really, I know you're used to a boardroom or a company room or whatever it is that you do in your bureaucracy. But science is about discovery, and there's patience to it.
Well, it's also about observing.
It's very unhelpful.
Science is about observing, and I would like for you to observe the next time I see these.
Well, I'm sure the next time you see them, I will also see them. Yes. And so, about an hour passes, Jack. And you see them again. Except this time, they're not running alongside. You just see a pack just kind of sitting off the road about 50 yards away or so. You can see they're kind of interspersed between what looks like a series of like these rock formations, like these very tall, almost like Stonehenge style, kind of in a way, like that sort of organization of these kind of white, blue. But this time, go ahead, Adam.
It's at that moment that I grab this person's head and turn it, and I point.
And she gasps. Ah! And as everybody hears her gasp, any of you who turn to look, you can see that rock outcropping. You can see very much Stonehenge-like. You don't see any of those creatures that Jack is talking about, but you do see hanging from the uppermost beam, there's a human body that is just very slightly swaying in the breeze. And we'll end there, and we'll pick up in a couple weeks because it's fun ending on Dead Buddies.
Hey.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Yay.
There we go. All right. I got to write a quick note about something. All right. All right.
I feel like Michelle just switched her rival the session for no particularly good
Just
reason.
no particular reason. All right. So there you go. I'll tell you what, you all take, we're not doing the normal XP rules. We're doing kind of more intermittent. Take 5. There you go. And you should be able to buy something with that. I think talents are that. And depending upon your level of skill, you might be able to buy something. So we'll say just from navigating the politics and the investigation, there you go. Have fun.
Yay.
And those of you who return alive from this expedition will probably get more. Those of you who don't return or don't return alive will not get that additional XP.
Oh, we got incentive not to die.
Yeah. All right. So we're off exploring, guys. You're gonna find all sorts of fun stuff. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get back, colony's gonna look a lot different. We'll see. It's gonna burn to the ground. Someone's gonna burn to the ground.
Because I have taught them a valuable
Oh
lesson.
no. Something bad happens. You just burn the building down.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like cults start up like that. There's this crazy like fire worshipping cult. It's just
He got away with it, so it must be okay. Let's just do it.
Right.
Let's just burn everything down. Why clean stuff when you just burn it? Burning is the real way to clean stuff.
I'm
You come back.
glad
There's
people are
pyro
picking up
cults.
on that.
There's an ice sculpture of Scooter that they're all revering as you walk past. It just writes
That's
itself.
Amazing. It does.
All right. Let's go ahead, do some closing plugs, and we'll get on out of here. Let's start with Chuck. Chuck, tell us what's going on, man. What's going on with you?
I'm
Okay.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Wednesdays, we got our Dungeon Crawl Classics campaign. We're doing the 2nd edition Adventure Night Below. Fridays, Joe's making a game called Anvia. And we're playing that. It may be ending soon. And after that, we're going into a Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign that I'll be running. That's kind of it for the DOK front. Yeah.
Awesome. Very nice. Okay. Who's next? Jeremy, tell us about this Patreon.
I heard me on Patreon. You get comics, maps, tokens, fun stuff. Check it out.
Perfect. Maitre, where can we find you on the internet?
I am Maitre Plays Games on YouTube, where I make system agnostic or multi-system content about the GM and player experience.
Wonderful. And Adam, what's going on with Cannon Otter?
A whole lot on the back end right now, but not much to talk about. Just getting editing done, more writing, more creating of the art so that we can then get it to a layout artist and have a book. So probably the best place to go is what I see in the chat there is our Cannon Otter Discord, where you can get all of the news and updates and stuff that we are doing. Awesome.
Fan-freaking-tastic. As for us here, tomorrow night's our next game. We're going to be playing the second half of our Perils and Princesses game. So come watch Erin be a princess. It was a lot of fun last time. We're finishing up our little one-shot of it. Thursday, you can see Jeremy, Melissa, and myself back on Simba Room. Friday, we got some Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory. Saturday, I'm going to eat people with a giant mouth and Call of Cthulhu. So you should come back for that. As we will be wrapping up Los Angeles one way or another, damn it. And then next Monday, you can see a bunch of the same folks here as we're going to be playing some Fragged Empire as we alternate between Alien and Fragged Empire every Monday. Obviously, check out the YouTube page, Adventures in Lollygagging, all that good stuff. And that's it for us. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. We're going to go ahead and raid Lost Caravan RPG. Follow that raid. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you later in the week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.